First of all, my name is Al Martin, and my wife, Terry, is here with me. And I appreciate the invitation to attend this meeting. I was a little bit dubious and quite excited at that game Saturday night. I didn't know which side was going to throw the game to the other one, but I did find out at the end. The first question actually was somewhat answered, but not fully. Has the board considered a reverse split? My experience has been that...
Would you like to make that a motion? There was a motion for a reverse split.
I would say a 2-for-1, because if it were 3 or 4-for-1, I might end up with no shares, or fractional shares. But anyway, my experience has been that all of the stocks that have split have gone down in the next 2 or 3 months or the next 2 or 3 years, including one which you are drinking, which is a flat Coke. Also, I have observed Merck over the last several years to be hitting a low, which split 3-for-1. So I think that, the reasons for splitting stocks are to make it affordable. I found that every stock I ever bought was never affordable. I found the reason I bought it was because I couldn't afford not to buy it. So that's a different philosophy. I guess that's somewhat shared indirectly with the board's running of the stock. The second question, which is has to do with...
Hope it's as easy as the first question.
Well, I didn't want to wait for an answer to the first question for that reason, because it could be complicated and confusing and so forth. The second question has to do with could the board consider looking into a commodity broker or a lawyer or both that could take action similar to Hillary Clinton's? I think, making your net worth go up by a factor of 5 overnight is more than enticing. Some of us might even want to wait for 10 months to get a 100-to-1 return on the money.
Well, I want to say 530% in one day. Charlie has never done that for us. I mean, it really caused me to reassess succession plans at Berkshire. And Hillary may be free in a few years. I hope you're applauding over her coming to Berkshire, not being free, but I'll leave that up there. Okay, that was their second question. Huh?
That was my second question. Of course, in my experience, it's been that most of us have thought through this situation, and I guess it's pretty speculative, but I found out that the rules and laws that are made for trading are interpreted rather than enforced, and I think that applied to this particular case. So let's go on to the third question.
All right. They're getting easier.
This one is real easy. My wife was a collector of blue chip stamps for many, many years, and she bought some stamps with her. What should she do with them?
Well, we can give you a definitive answer to that. Charlie and I entered this trading stamp business to apply our wizardry to it in, 1969 or so, Charlie?
Yes.
We were doing what then, about 110 million?
No, it went up to 120.
Okay, and then we arrived on the scene, and we're going to do what, about 400,000 this year?
Yes.
Yeah. That shows you what can be done when your management gets active.
We have presided over a decline of 99.5%.
Yeah. But we're waiting for a bounce. And I would say this. The trading stamp business, as those of you who followed it all know, it only works because of the float. I mean, a very, very high percentage of the stamps in the 60s were cashed in. We have some years that we've gotten up to 99%, I believe, we sampled the returns because they were given out in such quantity. But our advice to anyone who has stamps is to save them, because they're going to be collector's items, and besides, if you bring them to us, we have to give you merchandise for them. So tell her to keep them. They'll do nothing but gain in value over years. Going back incidentally to your point on the split, Going back incidentally to your point on the split, I think most people think that the stock would sell for more money split. we wouldn't necessarily think that. I think most people think that the stock would sell for more money split. We wouldn't necessarily think that was advisable in the first place, but in the second place, we don't think it would necessarily be true over a period of time. We think our stock is more likely to be rationally priced over time following the present policies than if we were to split it in some major way. And we don't think the average price would necessarily be higher. We think that the volatility would probably be somewhat greater. And we see no way that volatility helps our shareholders as a group.